Young ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all of you. Once again, you are most welcome here on your beloved platform, the platform of awakening of consciousness. This is the front page of international news. The European Union and France remain furious. They are no longer backing down. The European Union, in coordinated action with the most restless states in Europe, has decided to go beyond Donald Trump's vision, to go beyond the vision of peace, and to engage in a real showdown. So this is a new offensive that these Westerners on the European side want to launch regarding the continuation of the conflict in Ukraine. What needs to be said, and it should be recalled, is that as long as the conflict continues in Ukraine, Zelensky is comfortable. The European leaders are comfortable, especially France and others. Today, May 24, 2025, the European Union has just made an announcement, an announcement about the continuation of financial and military assistance to Ukraine. This announcement is reinforced by a similar announcement from France. We are facing Europeans who have decided that, to continue the war. As a Ukrainian member of parliament said today, May 21st, 2025, he was denouncing this. He said that Ukraine has become the global hub for money laundering. This means that when it comes to Ukraine at any moment, it's about money laundering. And this Ukrainian member of parliament, whose name I will reveal to you later, goes on to say that this is the main reason why both Zelensky and the Western countries do not want the conflict to end. Even though Zelensky sees enough of his fellow citizens going to their eternal rest, it means nothing to him. Let's go deeper. Let's go deeper. The first announcement, let's take the one from France. France announces that it will transfer 6 Rokus robotic demining systems. Demining refers to devices that, of course, are used to neutralize anti-personnel mines that have been buried in the ground. You know that Russia has buried a huge number of anti-personnel mines in Ukrainian soil. And to clear Ukrainian land of mines, well, it will take more than a century. Because just for a perimeter of how much? Just something like the area of 5 Ukrainian cities. Ukrainian authorities had said it would take them 30 years to finish demining, since the demining systems used by Ukraine are, of course, not effective and do not allow them to clear mines quickly. France is coming to Ukraine's rescue. What is France planning? These are systems that have been developed in cooperation between the Estonian company called Milrem Robotics and the French company CNAM, an industrial systems company. According to Milrem Robotics, these systems are heavily based on the Demis tracked platform developed in Estonia. The project was funded by the French government, and the systems will be handed over to the Ukrainian emergency services. So France has really fought hard. While we see that there is no more money in France, while on the side of the unions, on the side of the taxi drivers, there are strikes everywhere. Strikes that never seem to end. Meanwhile, France decides to commit its finances to fund the war effort in Ukraine. And some people continue to think that France is doing this just out of, how should we call this? Out of European solidarity. Out of naivety, many people still think this way. France acts toward Ukraine because France sees its own interest in it. We are dealing with international geopolitics. Only self-interest connects states on the global political stage. No matter how much France loves Ukraine, France cannot dare to accept and sacrifice the budgets of local governments, the budgets of higher education institutions, the budgets of private and public organizations to continue funding the war effort. let's go a little deeper. These robotic demining systems are drones that allow for the detection, verification, and remote neutralization of threats. These are drones that France is going to transfer. But the problem is that there are only 6 of these drones. There are only 6 of these systems. Russia will quickly, very quickly, use them up, and Ukraine will once again be left empty-handed. As if all that weren't enough, ladies and gentlemen, on this, May 20th, 2025, the ambassadors of the United States, the ambassadors of the member states of the European Union have approved the European Military Reinforcement Plan. This time, it's not about funding Ukraine, but rather they themselves want to strengthen their own defense system. Because Russia is starting to appear as the most powerful black lion on the European continent. So precautions must be taken against Russia. We must, in any case, we have to be ready. And so, the ambassadors of the 27 member states of the European Union have approved the European Military Reinforcement Plan called SAF. Remember this word, SAF, S-A-F-E. It's the European Military Reinforcement Plan. And this plan was proposed by the European Commission. And do you know who is at the head of the European Commission? Ursula von der Leyen. So the announcement was published on the official account of the European Union. So, this plan has a budget of 158 billion euros. Maranatha. Can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen, 150 billion euros. 150 billion. And where exactly is the real problem? The amount is enormous, but the thing is, it's the member states, the different member states, who have to dig into their pockets, come up with the money, so that this budget can be put in place to make their project work. So, why is Europe doing this? Because Europe is well aware of their position in relation to Russia. But in the coming days, the Europeans are going to provoke Russia. And when Russia decides to implement its modified nuclear doctrine, they will need to be able to stand up to Russia. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that was the top international news story. Thank you for sharing it as much as possible. I'll be back with more news for you shortly. This was the voice of your one and only samurai.